Hey guys, welcome back to the Citystead. So, it's about time for round number 2 of the Secret Gardener Seed Challenge. Now, if you remember back in round 1, we had just gotten the seeds and we were supposed to try to guess what they were. So we just made blind guesses and then we planted some. And the story of my year has been kind of up and down. I worked a lot of the spring away from the Citystead here. So time to plant and all that stuff, I was really missing a lot of those key times to get things started. So I'm pretty far behind in the whole gardening as it is. Between my traveling, and also the crazy three months of rain we had for spring. Yeah, we're just getting out here and kind of getting some of this stuff going. We had some luck germinating a few of these seeds. Not all of them germinated for us, but we did have a fair amount, so we know what some of them are a lot closer. And some of these we have to actually direct sow. So we have to get those in the ground or we'll never know what they are. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these things in the ground and then I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my guesses of what I think is what. And we'll see if we can bump up our score from the last round, because if you've seen, we did pretty terrible. Also, you should probably go back to the beginning of this, watch the playlist. I'll post a link for it. It's actually that way. This round is starting with Eric over at the Little Whitehouse. So he's video 1, we're video 2, and then after us is gonna be Sunshine Farms. And speaking of Sunshine Farms, since we're already getting our butts kicked by GDP in the points category, like seriously, they don't even have to make any changes and they can walk away winning every single round. So hopefully we can get some production out of ours and actually produce fruit, which is even better than the score actually in the long run. But I had noticed that my friend Jen at Sunshine Farms had been making hookah culture beds, and since we started making some hookah culture beds, I thought we might have a little battle of the hookah culture bed. Boom! That right there, Jen, is my urban hookah culture bed that I plan on using in my Secret Gardener Seed Challenge. So it's on. Some of the successes that we had were these tomatoes. We had quite a few of the tomato seeds germinate. We also had peppers that did really good germinating. I know those ones for sure. And then basil was a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting that one. So I have some answers I'm going to change. For seed number 1, we had already known it was a tomato. And the seed was larger than seed for number 3, which also was a tomato. So we're thinking it's some kind of slicer tomato, something bigger. I think we originally guessed a green zebra. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with that. I think we might change it up because I don't think it was right. I think we're going to say it's a tomato and that it was a Dr. Wyche. I'm probably saying that wrong, like most definitely saying that wrong. But so with seed number 2, I was very convinced that it was a squash of some sort, and it actually said a patty pan possibly, just being that it's a smaller type of squash. And I'm still not convinced that they're not squashes, but with some of the other stuff I'm thinking that this is possibly a cucumber. But the seeds don't really look very cucumber to me. Cucumbers are normally like a little thinner, a little more white. These have like a ring on them. So I'm very confused about this seed. I'm still very convinced it's a squash somehow. and it doesn't make a lot of sense with all the other stuff, but I'm going with squash, and I'm gonna say it's just a regular old zucchini. Just something simple, something that's very prolific. Who wouldn't want to plant them in the garden? I know people get sick of zucchini, and you know, you become like the zucchini bandit when you start dropping it off at your neighbors like a hit and run, you know, but I'm gonna stick with, I'm gonna go with zucchini, not patty pan. I think it's just a regular zucchini, but it's a very good plant to have out in your garden because you want things that are produced prolifically for you, and zucchini and summer squash, those are definitely prolific producers. So definitely like a best friend, a gardener's best friend in the you know, you can be a bad gardener and chances are you can grow zucchini with no issues. And people will think you're an amazing gardener because you can harvest 1,000 zucchinis over the whole summer. I'm gonna get these in the ground now. I know we didn't get a ton of points that first round, but there were a few things that we definitely nailed down and we knew were. One of them is this here was a tomato. This came from seed number 3, and I believe because it's smaller than seed number 1 that it's a cherry tomato, which I'm pretty happy about because I seemingly forgot to plant cherry tomatoes this year somehow. And that's something I usually always get in the ground, but it's been a busy, crazy year. Like I said, I was on the road a lot of the time early in the year, basically to June, so I wasn't really home a lot to be able to get all the stuff done that I wanted to get done. So my garden's just been limping along. But then again, with the weather the way it's been, I think it's been alright because I'm not as far behind as I thought I was, being that we've had some crazy bad weather and just not very favorable to us gardeners. Seed number 4 was the pepper seed. Pretty obviously a pepper. There's not too many things that look like it. It's pretty distinguishable. As far as what type of pepper, I think we said it was a jalapeno, and believing we didn't get points for that, so I'm thinking we might have been wrong. I don't know. I think we're just gonna stick with jalapeno for it. It's a very popular pepper. A lot of people like it, so it's not producing any fruit yet. It's very hard to tell. We're just gonna stick with jalapeno for seed number 4. So originally with seed number 5, we had said that it was a Zinnia, a flower seed, and I don't know where that came from. It doesn't look like a flower seed really, so I definitely think it's actually more of a lettuce type seed. Probably can't see that, it's so tiny. Yeah, you won't be able to see it, but it's this little teeny tiny black seeds, and there's a handful of them, which tells me that it's something that you would grow more of than 1 or 2, because like with the tomatoes and the peppers, there was like 6 seeds in those, well, which is not a lot, right? So there's a lot more of these. I'm thinking it's definitely some kind of lettuce. It's so hard to say because there's a million different kinds of lettuces, but I am gonna go with like just a Buttercruch, just a plain type of lettuce. And the instructions were to direct sow this out here, so definitely really thinking it's some kind of lettuce. So I'm gonna go with a Buttercruch lettuce for seed number 5. So with number 6, I originally said that this was a lettuce seed, and it is not. This is definitely basil. We love basil in this house, like love it. We usually try to grow a ton of it, and we actually have like 5 varieties that we're trying to grow right now, and they're kind of struggling along a little bit, but we've been harvesting. It's like one of the only things we've actually been harvesting so far, and usually you can tell a lot by the smell of these, and this one doesn't have like a distinct real smell. If it had like a lime or citrusy, you could tell what kind it was, or maybe like a cinnamon. The Thai's got a little spicy type of smell. This smells kind of normal to me. I'm just gonna say this is a regular like Italian basil. I don't think there's anything too extravagant about it. I think it's just a basic type of basil, which is a very good type of basil. Although purple is my favorite kind of basil. So I'm happy to get these, and I really advocate for planting basil next to your tomatoes because I feel like it's a very good pest control method that is probably not used as much. I don't put a lot of stuff in my garden, like ever really. I use some blood meal mostly to keep out some predators like squirrels and groundhogs. So having stuff like the basil, the rosemaries, that kind of stuff, marigolds, that really, to me, does the best job of pest control. So I'm happy to have these to plant in with my tomatoes. For our last seed, number 7, I think we originally said it was an herb, cumin, and I think that's kind of a, I think it's a flower seed now, honestly. I'm just not sure what kind of flower. And it says to plant 12 inches apart on the direction, so that's kind of far. Bushy, something that's going to get a pretty good space on it. Herb. So as far as needing a 12-inch space in for these seeds, kind of leads me to believe it's like a bigger, bushier type flower. So I am going to say it is a flower. I'm going to go with number 7 as a flower seed, and I'm going to say that it is a Zinnia because, well, they're kind of the rage this year in all of gardeners. Everybody's talking about them, every channel you go to. So we're just going to go with Zinnias because I really don't know on this one. This one's really got me stumped. I'm thinking they were going for maybe a pop of color with this one. That's my guess, at least. Alright, well, there goes round number 2 of the Secret Gardener Seed Challenge. Hopefully we got a few extra points this round. We're making up some ground. I know we're way behind, which is also why I chose to plant them in this hookah culture bed that I've been working on, because I've noticed the hookah culture beds seem to really, I don't want to say they grow better, because I feel like in the first year of a hookah culture bed that's really not true at all. It's just your imagination playing with you, your hopes and dreams. You're looking at it going, wow, that thing's really doing great. And honestly, it's doing the same as any other bed, because that's really what it is at this point. Nothing is really broken down, nothing's really decomposed in there. So I'm doing it because I'm hoping that this bed will be successful, because the other ones have looked more successful. But for comparison's sake, it's probably the same if I planted in any other raised bed, other than the fact that this might have some fresh nutrients and the other ones don't. So I'm going to use that as my basis for why I did the hookah culture bed. Well, that, and also I just want to, you know, compete with Jen. Because, I mean, she's pretty awesome. She made a really cool hookah culture bed, and if you haven't seen hers, it looks amazing. Also, you should check out her video, because it's next in the playlist, guys. Playlist. Try to go back and watch the playlist so you can see everybody that's involved, because there's 6 channels altogether, and they're all people that I consider my friends and I have good conversations with outside of the YouTube world. And you know, we put this all together to try to bring something different to the homesteading gardening community, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. Round 3 will be a little more exciting because we'll have a lot of growth. We're probably behind some of the other channels. I know some of them might actually be harvesting at this point in time, but this is us transplanting our seeds, doing some of the direct sowing, really hoping for a good end of the summer and hopefully a little bit warmer fall than usual, kind of like what we had last year, so we can harvest a little bit later. That would be really ideal in the way our garden season has gone and the way my life has gone this year for the garden. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Check out the playlist. Again, all these channels are awesome, just great people, and this has been a super fun collaboration to be part of. And GDP, I'm coming for you guys. I'm coming for you. You can't hold me down. Everybody likes a comeback story, right? All right, I'm out. See ya.